Here's the thing about rhythm music games on portable systems in the West. They came to be a thing so late in the game that by the time we started trying, the tech was there to make genuinely good games. The Guitar Hero on Tour series and Rock Band Unplugged were quality offerings with excellent track lists immediately recognizable to one and all. But in Japan, they had been trying for a much longer time. Sure, they eventually got to the point with Elite Beat Agents where mobile music gaming was workable, but there were some pretty dark times before then. Beatmania GB2 Gatchamix is emblematic of those times when it really didn't occur to anyone that trying to port a Arcade/PS1 game that relied on CD music as a core element of its gameplay to the Game Boy Color maybe wasn't the best idea. Just like its grown-up arcade brethren, Beatmania is all about hitting marks in time with the music. As this isn't 2DX though, we've only got to concern ourselves with 6 inputs, 5 buttons, left, up, right, BA, and the turntable on the start button. Seems like it shouldn't be that difficult, but man, you'd be wrong. Among all the Beatmania titles, Beatmania stands as one of the most brutal due to the sheer volume of inputs. They're coming at you fast and frenzied, and just processing the onslaught is the first difficulty. The second is actually managing to keep your inputs straight on the rather tiny GBC buttons, or even more frustratingly on a Game Boy player on your GameCube. Better have some flexible thumbs and be prepared to hit the start button with your left hand, which feels completely unnatural, but deal with it. Alright, so we know that the input is tricky, the timing is brutal, and the actual passing or failing of a song is largely dependent upon whether or not you hit a completely unrecognizable figure in the last 20 seconds of the track and drop from full health to 0 in about 5 notes. You're going to fail at this. You're going to fail at this a lot, and it's not even like failing in Project Diva where it's vicious but ultimately fair. You're just going to get screwed. Accept it and relish the track list, which is this game's saving grace and best chance for survival. Fortunately, despite the fact that you're listening to difficult-to-recognize chiptune interpretations, they're difficult-to-recognize chiptune interpretations of things you might have heard before if you're particularly nerdy bent. There's a track on here by Utada Hikaru, some Tsunku action, a couple songs you might recognize from DDR like Love to Me and Genome Screams, and a spate of anime songs including a Gundam track, Ultraman song, and the opening theme to Cardcaptor Sakura. Just look at them trying to allude to the show without using anything that would requiring the rights. You're not really going to be playing Beatmania GB2 Gatchamix in this day and age as anything more than a gaming oddity, a port out of time, a reflection of the past, a reminder of where we've come from. Let's admit it, as impressive as some of these retro D-makes can be, and there's clearly some level of effort based on the continued inclusion of the graphics that fill the non-playable half of the screen, they were largely cash-ins. Hell, the only way you could do a lower fidelity version of this would be to leave the Game Boy entirely and enter the wide and woolly realm of dedicated LCD devices, which Konami did 18 times. I can't even joke about this. There's a Beatmania Pocket Tokimeki Memorial version. There's one called Beatmania Pocket Enjoyed Georgia's Signature, the meaning of which I leave as an exercise to the reader. Hell, they even did 2 versions based on cheer songs from the Hanshin Tigers baseball team. Fernando in Zaragoza, Spain didn't send us any of those, thankfully, though he did ask me a question once, which I didn't expect at all.